today is important discussions with my eye and Jessia, and we're just talking randomly. If I
Right. And Justin's gonna introduce the topic.
go.
Yeah. So basically, we went to Bank of America,
Yeah.
and where Jessia had to handle some business, right?
Right.
And Vianney pointed out that there's no bank tellers in there. It's just machines.
Right.
And I was saying like how a lot when I mentioned that the AI and machines are going to take over the world, you know, at least in the classroom, there's always a rebuttal. There's always an excuse. It's always like, oh no, machines won't take over the world. There's always going to be a person who's going to, you know, be there. But I'm like, if you go to the bank, there's no one there. And what do you think is going to happen to Walmart in the next 10 years?
But
What's going to happen to McDonald's?
Fun fact. Okay, go.
And it's just like the we started talking about the Industrial Revolution, how like all the workers were replaced by machines.
Right.
So it's
Industrial
just-
Revolution is key.
Go ahead.
And then Vianney brought up how it's just a pattern, you know? You're gonna people are gonna keep getting replaced by machines.
And then Jessia brought up the point that her mom was a history teacher, and she did and that led her to her research topic about slavery and how slavery was actually ended because British people didn't need the slaves no more. They got their own stuff.
Which is another support of how
Pattern.
people are getting replaced.
Yes. And so a pattern, come back to that theme. And so now we're navigating growing and evolving. So Justin was talking about Target and how Target is being in a 9-to-5 environment makes it hard to grow. And my rebuttal to that was it's inevitable for you to grow. It must happen. And Jessia was saying it happens in small ways. And then Justin was saying it happens side to side, upside
Growth
down.
isn't just up and down, but it's also side to side.
Right, and I said that it supports nature. Nature is cynical. It goes spherical. It's in a season. Everything goes in a cycle or a spiral. That is literally just the laws of the universe. And so now we're back.
And the question is,
Go.
what is growth in your perspective?
Yes,
Because
and
from that, we all realized that like we all had different perspectives on growth. So, what is your perspective on growth?
Justin can go first with his Target analogy.
Monetarily analysis.
Yes.
Probably, most likely. So I define growth and quote unquote success as the amount of money you make and your livelihood. So the things that you can afford to do, right?
Right.
So with the Target example, you are growing when you can start to afford more things and do more of the things that you want to do, and that are, I guess, sometimes the things that are better for you.
We're going to the movie quest open air.
Let's finish this conversation, then we'll come back.
There got some good. Okay. But yeah, if you're doing more of the things that you want to do and the things that are quote unquote better for you, that's growth in my eyes.
Okay, and then for me, growth means that it's a personal journey. And so if you're changing every day, that's growth to me. If you're learning something new, that's growth to me. And so you experience your growth by how happy or how satisfied you are with life. So when you are in your work field and in your education field and you feel unsatisfied, that is a sign that it's time for you to grow. It's time for you to change because you're uncomfortable. It's something scary happening there. And you have to navigate, challenge yourself to go into a space that's new and more comfortable for you. Okay?
Now, I think of growth as basically your interest and the different skills that you have and making advancements in those skills. Like, for example, Vianney is like a journalism major. So growth would be like improving her writing skills or developing a podcast. Like, for me, growth would be like, how can I utilize the skills that I have to make like better advancements in the world? It doesn't have to be like monetarily, like with money or like income. It's just like, how can I increase my knowledge in the field that I have learned? Like for me, with music, it could go with growth being me practicing the guitar every day and like learning different songs, or with tennis, mastering my serve, or different stuff like that. I look at growth like increasing your understanding or your knowledge in your field, or like your fields or skills, because everyone has like what they're good at. So That's my perspective on growth.
And right. And so you take this information and you use it to your advantage. We know that a pattern is happening within the workspace. We know that once you get a machine, it's going to replace your job.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to be able to grow, change, and evolve to have a space in the future above that machine.
Above that
okay?
damn machine.
And the only way you're going to get there is through change and evolution and through your creativity. You have to know yourself. You have to know what you're good at, like Jesse was saying. You have to be able to grow monetarily and have money and be able to live with a house, you know?
And based on our studies, make sure you go to school.
Yes,
Make sure you
based
go
on
to
our
school
studies, on our research, child. Go ahead.
What?
I agree. About the school part, I had to process that. One of the things is, I think that growth is like a measure of
Success.
I get
or
like
experience. Go ahead.
I feel like growth and success.
Oh, guys,
Can be-
listen.
Okay.
Like go this
Oh.
way. Yeah. Sorry about that.
It can be seen as like, if you're doing the things that you want to do and
Okay.
like if you can afford those things and things like that. But you can measure that with not just money but also experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like money you can measure a person's bank account to see if they're doing the things that they want to do and have the access to do the things they want to do. You can also look at a person's educational background.
Or like their
Do you have
skills
the
on CV and resume.
Exactly, because you can also practice your interests and do the things that you want to do because of your educational background.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just your money, but money is like a easy measure to see a person's growth.
Okay.
That is true.
Whoa. Now let's just talk about how it can apply to life.
Yeah.
What about people with low income, middle income, and
No
high
education.
income? No education.
Okay.
There's so many. I think there's a saying like in money, you want to hold a phone, you have long arms. Yes. My arms are so much better. So I think I watch wrestling with my family, and there's a saying like called a pay-per-view called Money in the Bank, and everyone gets like a cash grab to get a championship opportunity anytime, anywhere, any place. And like the saying for that thing is the risk is worth the reward. So I think if you really want the reward of, let's say, imagine me becoming a Grand Slam tennis player. If I want to like get that reward, I have to take the risk. Probably that would come in different ways of like high bills for playing tennis classes
And the time.
and
you
the
try to
time
put towards
and
it.
yeah, it could come in different ways,
That could be,
different
like,
from
less education
exactly.
or less job experience,
Mm-hmm.
less security, basically.
Yeah, well, how would you apply that? Like, what you want to do? Some people, like Justin was saying, like the people, you could turn to yourself. Like the people at Target, right? Yeah, the people at Target, they may not have the time or like the money to make all these sacrifices. But like we were saying, with like small steps. These small steps add up to one big step. So like small steps every day, breaking down your goals and not into just one big goal, but like smaller things would be like very good as well.
I think there's
I could turn to you.
common or like a cross sectionality between all our growths. It's like we're all saying that if you're doing what you want to do in some sort, whether that's growing in like your understanding or growing in like your
Skills.
your ability and your skills, or growing in like
Money.
It's like the things that you want. So the main question is
What do you want?
What do you want, and what can you do to measure, or what variables measure
What do you want?
if you're getting what you want?
And also, what do you have to sacrifice?
And what do
to
you
get what you want?
value? Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to like be in broke or debt for the rest of your life?
Right.
Oh,
get
Some
what
people
you want.
comfortable in that.
Is that growth?
Well, and then you have to, those are different variables you have to look into because their growth is not your growth.
Growth is
Exactly.
very subjective.
Exactly.
It's very
Growth
subjective.
Differs in different spheres.
Yes. And it's like when growth is subjective, it also is objective, I want to say, because everything is a paradox in some way. Because everything has to go in a season and cycle. And just because you're not in that season of life doesn't mean you won't get there. You just have to respect where you are in life and keep taking those baby steps so that you can get to where you want and get to those values or wherever you want to be.
Yeah.
But like when you when you have different variables, I think it changes because like some things become less significant. Like
Yeah.
when you're measuring growth in money, time may be less significant than education. So like you're risking a lot of time. Yeah, you're risking a lot of time, and like there's no security in the time thing. So like you're gonna get older, you're gonna age, you're gonna soon be at the age where like you're expected to have kids, but like you can measure your growth still by the amount of money that you've been making and the advances that you've made like in the works in the career world. So just like some things aren't taken into consideration when you're measuring growth in different areas.
And
I think we reached the hold for now.
I think, and just so to wrap up here, main goal overall, let's be realistic as a reminder just to everyone. Technology, AI, tools, that's been through human nature, okay? Everybody's seen that in the 1800s to now. But now we're dealing with AI. Your job in some way has been going to be replaced or changed, okay? You need to be prepared in some way, and whether you're learning something new, growing your money, or learning a new skill, because you're not going to be comfortable in that space anymore. You're going to have to change. You're going to have to expand. You're going to have to be comfortable with the challenge.
You're going to have to evolve from a caterpillar
Literally.
to a butterfly.
Literally. So you don't have a choice to be stuck, babe.
Yeah, adaptation is the key to success.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
what we learned that shit. All right, bye.